Then he came in the wheelchair and he told me I'll never walk again. He wanted to take out my leg because of the diabetic, right leg. But since only get 30 days to live, it don't make sense to take out my leg, you know what I mean? I don't think so make a difference. You know, when they said I could go home, I would go home for a day or two, and then I end right back in short of breath again. So I just go back to my tent, but in a couple of days I would just end up back in the hospital.
Okay. Yes, ER10.
Sorry, they probably used to do it.
They're seeking us for care for medical diagnoses that they aren't even accessing maybe a fraction of the care they actually need. I mentioned earlier, we typically see the extent and severity of illness in these patients that you would see in third world countries because, again, they're not accessing care. So you're seeing people walking in that need immediate amputations purely because they haven't seen a primary care doctor, not even a cardiologist, but a primary care doctor in probably a decade.
And I ended up in Queens. I ended up in ICU for 6 days. They had 5 IV lines in my neck. I needed to be hooked up to dialysis, insulin for my diabetic. And I never know that the mitral valve was already all torn up, that the blood that was pumping to the heart was torn up and the heart was down to 2% without blood.
The solutions are basically being preemptive, and that can be through a paramedic ambulance type of care, and actively seeking out these people to provide them care up front, getting them to dialysis, getting them to Waikiki Health or our Queen Emma Clinic to get their outpatient care, because maybe they're just not going because they don't have transportation. They can't pay the bus fee. They don't have a phone to call the handy van to pick them up. It's solutions like that. They sound so ridiculously simple, but it's actually those are some of the barriers we're talking about.
Oh, I found it. Oh my god.
We try to really put our eggs initially towards a group that represent a high utilization, high cost because of high medical needs, and that's a starting point.